Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Living Simply Lauer. This week, I did a little crafting. I experimented with a custard pie recipe, made a little bit of fun of George, went thrifting. I found a newspaper clipping from 1969 in a sewing cabinet that I picked up, and we take a look at the garden. Earlier this week, I posted a video titled Riding with Your Pup on a Can-Am Ryker 900. Watch George. I'm not sure exactly what he thinks of this video.
Should be able to support the weight of your dog. So Parker is a 50-pound dog. This has to be able to carry at least 50 pounds weight from the dog. It should also be tall enough for your dog to sit up in and stick their head out in this case. Also, you want the carrier to be large enough to where your dog can curl in a ball and lay down when it needs to.
Time to put my Goodwill thrift finds together. I found a Renoir print titled The Skift that I absolutely adore. It cost me $2, and I want to display it in a unique way, so I picked up this shadow box for $3. From my craft supplies, I found a piece of fabric that matches the colors in our living room in an old doily that I think I picked up for $1. Time to put all this together. Here I'm using Mod Podge on the shadow box backing in order to attach the blue fabric. I make sure that I use a thick coat so it will adhere properly. I push the fabric firmly on the backing, and I make sure that the Mod Podge has started to soak through the fabric. Now I'm able to place the doily on top of that. I place it in an angle so the fine crochet pattern will show through later. Then I simply attach the edge to the fabric with a glue gun. Between the Mod Podge and the glue, it will definitely stay put. At this point, I quickly cut out the white edging off the Renoir print, and then I Mod Podge that to a cardboard backing so when I adhere it to the doily, it doesn't wrinkle. You know, it is utterly amazing everything that you can do with a glue gun. Here I decide that the print needs just a little bit of embellishment, so I grab some chair cording from my craft stash and I attach that. Once that's done, I'll put a little bit of weight on it and I'll let it dry overnight. And the next day it's ready to be placed in the shadow box. I just clean up the back by placing a little bit of paper on it, and it is done.
Today I'm making pie, one of my favorite pies, custard pie. But this isn't just any custard pie. This is a custard pie with pear and vanilla. And then I'm going to make an experimental custard pie and add blueberries and lemon and see how that turns out. Here we go.
I've been making this custard pie for years. I typically add pears to it, but you could add any fruit that you'd like. The recipe is really simple. It's 3 eggs and 1 cup sugar, a third cup all-purpose flour, and then you add half a teaspoon of vanilla or almond, a quarter cup of melted butter that's been cooled. Whip that all up until the sugar is dissolved, and then add your fruit. You place it in an oven at 375 degrees for 15 minutes, and then you reduce the temperature to 350 degrees for about 25 to 35 minutes or until the custard is firm. Make sure you cool it completely before serving. Today I decided to add cinnamon and sugar to the top of the pie. And for pie number 2, I decided to make lemon blueberry. So I've added a quarter cup of lemon juice and about 2 tablespoons of lemon zest to the custard, and then I add blueberries to the bottom of the pie shell. We'll see how this turns out. I was lucky to get to have lunch with my childhood friend Sandy. She's known me forever. She knows all my secrets.
This is the best treasure of the day. This is a drop leaf table, and from the little bit of research that I've done, it was used as a sewing box table, but I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research to be 100% sure about that. It was probably manufactured around 1890 to 1900, and I can tell that by the way that they've made the drop leaf supports, as well as the drawers, the way the drawers were manufactured. They also have this old key lock in here, so I would do a little bit more research on that. When I opened this up for the first time, I found these items in there. And this is an old newspaper clipping, just kind of interesting. It's talking about Norfolk skies friendly capitals aren't united. Rams down Cleveland. But the best thing is this right here. 69 Chrysler, 69 Plymouths ready for delivery. So that tells you how long this dresser has been around and it was actually being used. In addition to the sand, I also picked up some knickknacks. I think this is a treasure also. I've looked on eBay, and this particular piece of glass is selling for around $50. And I paid $4.29 for it, so this is definitely old. Again, I'll have to do some more research on that. But I picked up this neat teapot lantern. Those who know me know I love tea. $2.50. I picked up a frame box that I will use this sometime around Christmas to make gifts for people. I found a couple of resin frames that are probably from the 70s or 80s, but I liked the color and the design on them. It was a bonus round today.
Today I met 4 baby rabbits that were living in the garden. I was mowing around the garden, and all of a sudden I see something move. I jump. I look back around, and there's 4 rabbits running across to the other end of the garden. My strawberry patch is quite popular with varmint. I've got 4 bunnies eating off the strawberries. I saw a chipmunk carrying a strawberry away the other day, and of course there's the birds. We're starting to get some peppers in the garden, and the most exciting thing this week was the green beans that were hanging from the trellis. I've loved watching the plants grow up this trellis that Bob built me this year. We've got green beans coming up on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, I planted watermelon and cantaloupe. And as you can see, we've had some pretty good success with it. It's a jungle, but I love it. One of the other helpful things that we've installed in the garden this year is a very, very simple watering system. I bought soaker hoses and I ran those along the base of the plant, and then we just have a hose that comes into the garden. We have an automatic timer, so the plants are watered at 6 a.m. every morning. A bonus feature of this kind of setup is that the garden is not full of weeds because I'm not watering the entire garden. I'm only watering where the plants are. Highly recommend. Well, that's all I have for now. I hope you enjoyed watching. Remember, make it a great week, and we will talk to you next weekend.